Yes, welcome to the unofficial Splitgate podcast. I'm your host, Rayapollo, and today we're going to talk about Splitgate. Oh man, this is awesome. I do a lot of podcasts. CJ, are you there, my friend?
Hey Ray, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I appreciate the green room. It was a nice little backstage experience. I appreciate it. The nice refreshments and the
Perfect.
yeah. You made sure to get all the red Skittles out of the jar.
I was about to ask if they had separated the Skittles for you into different colors. Yep.
Well, when I walked in, they were just finishing it up, but everything was good, so I appreciate it.
An introduction, so I make sure they can.
An introduction? Yeah. So my name is CJ Peterson. I am the community manager lead over Splitgate, and I'm really excited about being here for you guys today.
Well, glad. I'm excited that you're here. The way I want to do this is, if it's okay with you, I want to talk a little bit about you first, and then we'll jump just straight into talking about Splitgate, because I feel like you being here is the important part. I want the people to know the man with the game.
I appreciate that. Yeah, let's do it, right?
Well, yeah,
what do you got for me,
MJ's here not harassing me. That's fine.
That's good.
Great.
Yeah. That's always it seems he's having an off day, but it is early in the morning, so we'll see.
It is early in the morning. I see.
There's no telling.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, CJ. Like, how did you get into video games? I'm always curious about that. What got you into video games? Because not everybody, believe it or not everybody's into video games, chat.
Yeah. I don't know. So you mean when you ask this question, you mean personally or like
personally?
Professionally?
I'm like, we'll get to professional part, but like personally,
Sure.
what got you? Was it like your cousin's cousin had an N64 and you're like, oh my god, what's that thing? And then you played Mario 64 for 3 days straight, or how?
No, I mean kind of similar. So I was born in 1993, and around I don't know, maybe 1996, 7, my parents got a Nintendo 64 for me for Christmas. And
I was kidding when I was leading with N64.
No. Yeah. You did good. And I'm really thankful for that Nintendo 64 because I literally it started everything for me, man. I mean, seriously, it really did.
Yeah.
For 20 years, I've been stuck on the water temple.
For 20 years.
I'm not good at Zelda, man. There's a lot of thinking. I have no idea how like little kids used to beat that. They still do the Zelda games.
They still do.
It's beyond me. But I was a big
Mario
Mario
how much
guy.
time you have to play games with your kids, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but I mean, I had the same time, Ray, and I wasn't doing it. So
fair enough. I was trying to give you a benefit of the doubt, but fair enough.
I appreciate it. But no. I did a lot of Nintendo 64. And that quickly moved in as I got older. That moved into just the original Xbox, and then that moved into 360, and then it was just kind of a natural progression from there. So it started with grassroots and Nintendo 64 days, and then moving up to Xbox, and then Xbox 360, and then Xbox One, and then now I'm just doing PC. So
wow, now just doing PC. All right, I feel it.
Yeah.
So I mean, of those when you were starting, like what was the game that kind of confirmed for you? It's like, hey, there's something special about these. I'm a gamer. Yeah. What was the one that was like, hey, I love this, and I've spent like 12 hours a day playing it? What was the one?
That's a really good question because I feel like every gamer has that one where it's like, yeah, this is it. And it's really cool because gaming, you can be literally any age in that click. You know, you can be 50. Luckily, I was, a little kid and I did have 12 hours to waste in a game. But honestly, I think that for me, it was possibly... That's a super hard question.
I'm sorry, I came here with the hard-hitting questions.
No, I appreciate it.
The chat demanded answers, and so I'm giving them to him.
No, exactly. You gotta supply and demand. No, I think that if I had to pick something, it would be along the lines of Mario. I mean, honestly, it's kind of a lame answer, and I feel bad for saying it, but probably Mario Kart 64, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Mario Kart's a good one.
I mean, yeah, it's a classic, but it's like it's not one of those games that everybody like. I don't know. When you consider like the greatest Nintendo 64 games of all time, would you throw that into that category? Or
I mean, why not? Because it's different for everybody. I feel like with these lists, everybody can have their own list. There are people who would argue that Fortnite is one of the greatest games ever, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, and they're not wrong in saying that.
You're totally right. So I think it was Mario Kart. It was just like I would dump hours and hours and hours into it. Every time I had friends over, they would play it with me. It was just kind of like that thing that was like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then just like I said, a natural progression after that. So honestly, if I had to pinpoint one, it was probably Mario Kart.
That's awesome. I think that's really like it is, and it's a really good gateway drug if you ask me.
Oh yeah,
honestly, I still can't beat my wife in Mario 64. She destroys me in that game every time. We can play any other Mario Kart and I'll win, but I cannot beat her in Mario Kart 64 because that was the one that she grew up on. That is her jam. I can't beat her in that game.
Yeah.
So
when you're on home turf, it changes
exactly.
everything.
It changes everything. So
yeah, man.
Sweet. All right. Well, now let's transition to the gaming as a professional. So how did you get into this profession? You know, because this is something that people literally are still dreaming about. Like you want to work in gaming. How did you get to where you are?
Yeah, well, I think that honestly, I've been kind of working slowly but surely my way towards right here in this position. I guess for the better half of a decade. And it started with a YouTube channel, man. Back in 2009, I started a YouTube channel and then started doing commentaries, uploading those Call of Duty commentaries on YouTube.
Wow, yes.
I was one of those guys,
yes.
I guess. Back in the day, though, I mean, back in like the height of all that, I was right there with it. I fell in love with the entire thing. And through that, I was kind of like, maybe... I guess every YouTuber or Twitch streamer that enjoys it has a thought of maybe I can do this full time, and very, very few of us are actually able to pay 100% of our bills with it. And when I say that, I mean I went like, I don't know, 7 years with getting $15 checks a month. So it wasn't like it was really disheartening.
It's a grind though, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely it is. So some point during that time period of doing the YouTube channel thing and the Twitch thing and the blah 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 thing, I kind of thought, you know what, maybe I can take this the next step further. So I didn't. I got 1.5 million no's because apparently, come to my surprise, saying that I have a YouTube channel, 1,000 subscribers isn't just come on in, sir. Yeah, we'd love to
come sit down. We would love to have you here.
Yes, to chat with you. Right. So I actually found. You know, my professional gaming side of things, I wouldn't really consider the YouTube thing professional. I mean, it is, but it just wasn't for me. You know, this whole journey started, I guess, the start of this year, actually. I accepted a internship through a gaming company off of Twitch and did that for a couple months. And then I kind of Splitgate came on my radar, and over the process of weeks and weeks and weeks, I was chatting with everybody, and they decided to move forth with me. They decided to take a chance, and I describe it as sneaking through the back door of my dream job because that's exactly what it is. I feel like I'm creeping around in the shadows until they notice that I'm actually here. But no, it really is. I mean, like the dream, right? I mean, everybody's a gamer, thinks at least once, I want to do this in some form or fashion, whether it's streaming or actually on this side of things. So this is, if you were to like put it on paper, this would be actually my very first like gaming, like my real gaming job. So this whole like gaming journey has only been a couple months ish long.
Well, hey, congratulations, because like I said, it's a grind. It's definitely a grind.
Oh yeah, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is.
So and transitioning from that though, what advice would you give to anybody who's watching this now or who's going to watch this later on when it comes to wanting to get a job like this in the industry? It's one of those things where I'm like, you know, this can happen, but how would you propose it to them when you're like, hey, do this, but?
Yeah. No, that's a super good question too, because that's something that, you know, when there's these gaming boards, you know, game job boards, there's hundreds of them. There's some better than others, and they basically just go out and basically it's like it's just like a normal job board, but it's only oriented towards gaming. So those jobs immediately came on my radar through following those accounts on Twitter. Hitmarker Jobs is a fantastic one. They're focused only on game jobs. But the point is, you look at these, you know, you see a job listing for something like Bungie or something like that, and you click it going, hey, I could probably do that. And then you get to the very bottom and it says minimum 10 years doing this.
Don't you love that?
Yeah. And it's so common. And it's really, it's like, well, I don't have, you know, 10 months in this
Exactly.
position. So it's like it's super disheartening. And like I said, when I literally was just throwing my resume at the screen and seeing what happened, it was literally like probably 150 no's before the Splitgate team was like, "Hey, I think we can further this discussion a little bit," and they did. And now I snuck in, like I said, but no, to be completely honest with you, I think that this answer is a lot like what you were kind of talking about, your favorite game. Like everybody kind of has a different. I mean, my path isn't going to be, the viewers, but the way that I did it, if that helps, is that that internship was everything, because and there's a lot of internships out there for gaming industry jobs, whether it's, it could be literally anything, writing or graphic design or doing something like I'm doing. And I always shrugged it off for a very long time, because I wanted to, hit the ground running, do this, go. I very quickly realized that that's not the case. So that internship for me was everything, because it actually put on paper, hey, I have a little bit of experience in the professional gaming world. And that's what ultimately led the discussion to, hey, do you think you can do this? And so it's like, for me, honestly, searching those gaming boards, and honestly seeing what feels right for you. Because just because you could necessarily do a job doesn't mean it's necessarily the right job for you. And I feel like if you believe in a studio, if you believe in a game, if you believe in anything that stands out to you on paper, just go for it, man. Right. Just go for it. And I'm not kidding. If you've never had a gaming industry job before, you will get so many no's. But you literally just have to keep grinding. I mean, it took me months and months and months and months of daily applications to even get, hey, let's talk.
And so, there's a comment in the chat that says, yeah, I wish I could get into an internship, but at my age, it's not really a way back in it. And, I completely understand that, because at a point when you've been working professionally for X amount of time, you look at an internship and go, oh, wow, that is a humongous step back from my entire career, and it's just not feasible financially, which I completely get. But you have an edge over these younger folks, and I'm, not to pick on younger people, but you have actual real world job experience, meaning that you can tweak and tune your resume to work for certain jobs that these other kids can't get, because you have all this experience already. But what CJ has already said is you just have to keep throwing your resume out there and tweak it for each one until you figure out which one's going to work for you.
And you know what? I mean, I worked for, I worked outside of the gaming industry for, 10 years or whatever. And that, I mean, honestly, those little jobs or those big jobs or whatever did help me kind of very easily transition. I think that getting into this industry, especially on more of like the public side, like a position like I have, opposed to like an artist who just kind of, sits in their booth and does it all day. I think that for it to be kind of like your first job necessarily would be a little bit overwhelming to a lot of people. Right. So I'm actually very grateful that I had years of, I professionally off the gaming industry. I have, sales management. I have all these, little things that add up to me easily tweaking it to easily transition to this position. So yeah, you're totally right. But when you're later on in life and you have an entire life of work dedicated to one thing, it is kind of intimidating. But again, I mean, you can't let that scare you away from doing something you really want to do. I mean,
Exactly. Well, that was awesome. That's awesome. So thank you so much for getting into that with me.
No. So, absolutely. Right.
So transitioning from there, let's talk about the big old baby in the room, Splitgate.
Never heard of her.
Or my favorite name, like I said earlier, Wormhole Wars.
Yeah. There was a couple working titles up until Splitgate. For a while. Now, I will say that I was not fortunate enough to be on the team that early on. Yeah. So when I joined, it was Splitgate, right? Which I'm happy for, because it is a good name. The other ones are kind of focused to Sam, like kind of a mouthful, like it wormhole, so it's
Wormhole Wars.
Yeah. So they're catchy names, but I enjoy Splitgate quite a bit, the name, and glad that they landed on that for sure.
Me
So,
too. So this is what we're gonna do. Like we're just gonna kind of in general talk about the game first, and then I'll jump into some questions that I've gotten from some of the people in the chat, and then some from the Discord earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if there are any other questions from like Twitter or something that I didn't see, chat, if you guys wouldn't mind, like just throw them in here, I'd appreciate it. So yeah, Splitgate. And I wanna read the summary real quick because this is the summary of the game, and I love it because it actually makes sense. So oh, we have questions. Oh, they have questions. So I guess they're excited about that. So Splitgate, Arena Warfare, or SAW, is a first-person sci-fi shooter competitive game where players use player-controlled portals to create a new dimension of arena combat. It's developed by 1047 Games, released on May 24th, 2019 as a free-to-play title for Microsoft Windows Steam. So, wow. That's beautiful.
You did good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's like I like to describe it as literally Halo and Portal, pineapple, apple pen, Splitgate.
Sure. Yeah.
It's incredible. I'm like, okay, so this is one of those things where I'll be honest, where I had seen some folks playing it earlier before it came out. So I think I saw like Dr. Disrespect and Trevor May and some other folks playing it. And I was like, okay, that's a really interesting premise. But I didn't really understand it until I actually played it.
Sure.
you know?
Yeah, it definitely takes a second.
It did take a second because like you basically took the best part of Portal and you put it into what feels like classic Halo. And I had no idea that this is something that I wanted and or would work.
Yeah. No, it's definitely been something that's been present for a decade now, or maybe longer, I guess, because Halo. Yeah, it was just somebody in a Stanford dorm room going, "Hey, I wonder if I take this and combine it." And that's exactly what they did. Ian came up with this idea with some other people, and they really made a product that is cool, man. I really like this game.
I do too. So
which is great.
Which is awesome because you're on the team now, which is amazing. So do you know like when did the first initial, I guess, playable version of this? When was this available? Because I've seen some videos as back as early as 2018.
It's definitely been something that's had a lot of TLC, tender loving care, over the especially the last 6 months. I don't know a specific date, but I'll tell you this much: Splitgate was made as kind of like a in a lot of senses almost like a school project.
Yeah.
To say, hey, can you make a game that was turned in? And they went back and they said, hey, you know what? We actually may have something. So, I mean, obviously back then didn't look anything like it did now. And it didn't, but that turned into this idea of, hey, can this become something real more and more and more? Last year, we definitely started going out and actually kind of getting in the public's face going, hey, this is what we got. See, and seeing kind of what their feedback is and what we could fix and what we could change and what we could add and what we could take away. There's a lot of that still going on.
Right.
But obviously, since the full release, we have been hitting the ground running, and we are super excited about, that we're trying to do as much updates to this game as we possibly can to make this as close to the dream that we had set in mind and kind of like the standards that we have set in mind. And we're very happy with the outcome so far. It's a long path that's going to constantly be happening, but right now we're pretty happy about that. But like last year was the first time we actually got in people's faces and like, hey, this is our game.
Yeah. And so I guess speaking along those lines, so can you kind of get into the big picture of what you guys want Splitgate to be?
Yeah. So that's something that we get asked a lot. Something that I do a lot of the social media along with, some of the rest of the team. And I see a lot of questions that are very similar come across my screen. And one of it is there a roadmap? Is there any kind of, is there anything going on? Because it seems that because we haven't released a public roadmap, people think that we don't have one. We're just living day by day. That's not really the case. We actually have decided at this point in time to not really come out and say, hey, by this date we're going to have this, because we don't want to be put in a position where we have to rush anything. Rush anything just to get it out. That's definitely not what we want to do by any means. And then the second thing is, we don't want to say something, promise a date, promise something, and then that date comes and we don't have it fully polished. That's a big, that's something we're really passionate about, making something and fixing it and polishing it to exactly what we want. The roadmap, though, is literally just every single day making this, like I mentioned, every single day making this game as polished and as close to our personal standards as we possibly can. Right now, this first little chunk of time, because the game just got released, full release, very couple weeks ago. So right now we are literally just focusing on feedback that we hear from everybody. I think we're the only development team in the world that reads every single thing that comes our way.
I think so too, actually.
Yeah. We are always on top of that. We have such a tight knit, just everything, and we're really we're really happy about that, and we're really striving that. And I think that's huge. Open communication and saying, hey, I acknowledge you. But because of that, because of reading Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, Discord all day long, I think that we get a very easy understanding of where people stand on what we have now, what we don't have, what we took away potentially. And I think that's this first little chunk of time is massive, because the initial release, we are working extremely hard on making it to where, I'm obviously the phrasing "make everybody happy" is not realistic,
right? Exactly.
But get to as close to making everybody go, oh yeah, this is the game that I really want to play. So right now, this little chunk of time, and when I say chunk of time, that could be 6 weeks, that could be 6 months. We literally don't have a time frame on that, because we are going to be working on that and listening to feedback and throwing stuff out and seeing if you guys like it until we reach that point. Once we reach that point, then we're going to further the discussion. What's next for Splitgate? Obviously, throughout that time, we're going to be doing updates, adding maps, adding guns, adding skins, stuff like that, to kind of keep you guys entertained. I understand that that's a big thing too, but long term, I mean, we don't have a super long term plan. 5 years in the future, I can't tell you where we're going to be, but I can tell you that in the next year for sure, we're going to be polishing this game, taking care of it like a child, and making it to the absolute perfect game that we have envisioned. And like I said, once we reach that point, then we're going to say, okay, what's next? And I know that we get asked about console constantly.
I think every time I'm streaming it, it's in the chat at least 2 times. Is this game on console? Hey, are they ever gonna put this on console?
If it's in your stream, you can imagine that times 1,000,
yes.
for social media. It's a very common question, and we love it though. That's part of the, we hear you and we see what you want, and even though there's no official planning yet, I know that goal of ours. So I think that's going to be definitely in quote phase 2 of Splitgate, the discussion at least of, hey, how can we get this to a bigger audience? But right now it's really just focusing hard on the massive amounts of fantastic feedback that we get every single day, and seeing what we can do to meet you all the way or halfway at least.
Right. And so I guess going back to, you guys molding and shaping and listening to the community, are you guys open to taking like player feedback and implementing like new things into the game? Is that something you guys are like doing, or is it just kind of like, no, we're head down this, we have our internal vision and we're sticking to that?
Oh, no. It's definitely, it's definitely a huge percentage of feedback that we're going off of. I mean, obviously we have set goals in mind. If somebody wants something ridiculous, we're not going to be like, hey, we should, we have a path, but you're also entirely welcome to walk on it with us. And we definitely want that open discussion, open door to be there. Because we're the ones making the game, but you're the guys playing it. That's massive, and that's why we are so heavy on social media and all the other outlets, because we legitimately want to hear your feedback. So that is 100%. Yeah, that's we always want to hear it, good or bad. Seriously, good or bad, we want to hear it, because the good helps us, figure out what we're doing right, and the bad helps us figure out what we need to work on.
Okay, I really like that. So I speaking of just the those changes or whatnot, I see that you guys are like I don't want to say slowly, but you're pivoting more towards this competitive scene, and the game looks like it's built to handle competitive gameplay really well, in my opinion, just based off what I've seen and what I'm watching. I'm nowhere near ready for competitive gameplay, but these other guys I see play this game are incredible, and it looks awesome. So, like, do you guys have plans for, like, I don't know, like an official league for this game, or?
That's something that we actually didn't really plan on.
Really?
No, I mean, like, what I mean by that is, I mean that not the league question, but the actual esport scene of it. We knew that it was going to be something there, but the actual, like, show up to it was like, wow, this is something that people want a little bit more than we thought. I totally agree. This game is, I guess, when you really strip it down and you really stare at it and look at the mechanics and look at the gameplay and look at how players actually play the game, it's the perfect game for esports.
Yeah,
it's absolutely perfect. It's really, really hard to play at that level, and the stakes are super high. And if you're super good, you're super good, and that's apparent. But it's also, in the same sense, really fun to watch. When you're watching that level of gameplay,
yes,
it is insane. You are, like, staring at the screen like it's a Super Bowl.
How did they do that? I've watched a few things. Like last night, I was just watching some videos of the guys playing the game, and I'm like, these guys are insane.
Yeah. There's some really, really high tier players that they just, every lobby they get in, they absolutely run. Right now we're doing the Divergence series. Yeah. Oh, I know you are. I know you do. Right now we're doing the Divergence series, and that is that's something we have. Yeah, that's something we've had going on the last couple of weeks. Right now we're doing the preseason of it. This Saturday is going to be our third week.
Okay.
And it's always a massive turnout. We always have really, really, really great commentators over it. Last couple of weeks we've had Zoot, who's fantastic, with some guests, and it's really, like I said, it's really gets the experience of watching and seeing them play to a new level, and really shows how much potential this game actually has in esports. So right now we got the Divergence series going on, and that's an absolute blast. That is an absolute blast.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are hopping on board with that, because, for one, it's open to the public. Absolutely open to the public, and that adds a lot of element to it too. Because when you look at these major esport events, that's not like you can just walk on stage and sit down kind of thing. And I think that Divergence series is something that we kind of say, hey, if you know how to jump, if you know how to shoot, sign up. We'll see how good you are, and that really adds a lot to the game. A lot of stake to the competition too. So esports is something that we are going to focus on. Not solely. I mean, the sole focus that we're always going to have in this game is the game as a whole. But esports is definitely something that I'm super excited for in the future, because I know that this game is, like I said, absolutely perfect for it. So we're super excited to see where that takes us. But right now we got the Divergence series going on,
which I'm really interested in. We'll be keeping my eyes on for sure. But a fun question from the chat is, do you have a below amateur series so Rayapollo can compete in it?
Yes. It's called Social Playlist. Open to anybody.
Open to everybody. Beautiful. I'm so happy that even plebs like me can play this game nearly a fraction of the competitive playlist. Great. I'm so happy.
Sure. No, yeah. No, it's definitely. I mean, the skill base on this game is huge. I mean,
It is. It's very wide.
It's very, very wide. And I always think it's funny when people find out that I'm a dev in game or something, because it's kind of in my name, and my name in game is CJ Splitgate. So people are always like, why is that? Or they know if I play a lot. And the second that they find out that I'm on the dev team, they immediately start. For one, it's a manhunt every time.
I bet.
And then, but then two, it's like they, I'm a very average player. So when I go, when I break even, when I go 7 and 8, or 10 and 10 or something like that, people are always like, in the post lobby, like, come on, CJ, I thought you were, like, oh man, that's not, just because you help with the game doesn't mean that you're a god at the game. The skill level is absolutely insane. On every level. So,
but yeah, no, we, I saw a comment in chat. Yeah, we get destroyed, crushed, and capture the flag though. Yeah, we get absolutely demolished in domination and capture the flag. It's insane. Yeah. These guys are just so good.
Yeah, people find a good game plan and they stick to it, and it usually works every time. It's like a copy and paste math problem that if you figure out how to stomp the other team, usually works every time until you get with another team that has another copy and paste kind of like game plan, and then that's when the stakes get high and it's really fun to watch.
All right, I see. All right, so I've got 5 rapid fire questions for you about Splitgate. So I hope you're ready for these. All right, you ready? You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Favorite weapon?
Oh, God.
Right. Yep, I'm going for it. We're doing it.
Railgun.
All right, that's a good answer. A very good answer. Favorite armor? Set. I guess you can go set. Yeah.
The Doomguard Fractured Epic Armor for 1,000 disco bar featured store right now.
Beautiful.
Next.
Favorite map?
Oh no! I like the. Oh no! I don't know.
I will say all the maps are really good, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we like them quite a bit too.
So we'll come back to that one. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Come back to it.
Favorite emblem?
Oh, I really like. It's one of the co-founders. His face is. I don't know how to say it, but it's like the he's like looking up, kind of weird, and he's got his mouth open.
Is that the meme lord?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That's the one I'm rocking right now between anime waifu and Splitgate girl and
you know what's going
lord?
on.
Yes,
yep. Meme lord. That's one of the co-founders. So yeah,
wonderful. I love it. Yeah. And then I guess my last question for this before we go back to the map: favorite place to camp, because it says no camping on the walls, but I do what I want. So, yep.
Favorite place to camp. I like when there's high towers, like usually like snipers are up there.
Okay. Yeah.
I like hanging out there.
And so back to favorite map.
Okay, favorite map is going to be Seoul Stadium.
I mean, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. We enjoy Instagib on that one quite a bit.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a good one. That's
I like
really
it.
Solid map. Yeah.
All right, so now I'm gonna grab some questions from the chat. I know MJ's kind of covered with them, but I wanted to kind of get it on stream so people can kind of listen to them. So, absolutely. Did you have any other games that you wanted to model when you were making Splitgate? It feels a little Unreal Tournament, and in a really good way. That's from Link Chef, one of the mods in chat.
Sure. Well, hey, Link, thanks for the question. So, like I mentioned, I definitely wasn't on the team when the game was in that stage, but I do know that the inspirations for this game are very apparent, I think. I mean, Unreal Tournament is definitely one of them. Obviously, Halo.
Yes,
and obviously Portal. They kind of took it all together and said, how can we make it kind of our own, but kind of do something, So I think that those 3 are the big ones that that's really great too, because Splitgate offers something that is so unique and rare. Mm-hmm. And what not only like the gameplay, but I mean like the second that you launch the game for the first time and get into your first map, you get a nostalgia feeling for a game you've never played. And that's something really unique that I've never personally felt before. And I think it's because of the inspirations that, Unreal Tournament, Portal, and Halo. I think that those 3 are definitely the heavy contenders when kind of thinking about base inspiration for Splitgate, and because of that, it really translates well.
Gotcha. So I guess, and this is a side question from me now. So how does it feel to be working on a game that, where the battle royale scene is so thick that you guys came out and
Sure.
decided, you know what? Nah, this is an arena shooter, and yeah, we can exist alongside all these other games, you know, to be something different.
No, it's super cool. It really is, because you're totally correct. Everything is battle royale. Everything. Tetris is now
That is
battle royale.
100%
that,
true.
if that doesn't tell you anything, no, it's super refreshing, and I get a lot of that feedback too. You know, I hear that a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's super nice playing something that's an actual like game,
Yes,
instead
exactly.
of like the same thing
Mm-hmm.
over and over again. I think that the timing that we released was really good, because it's so oversaturated with BR games that
It is.
It is very nice to release something like this, and also something that I think a lot of people kind of experienced sometime in their gaming history, a similar feel, whether it be Halo or whatever game. I think that it's a really nice change up.
It is. It's very refreshing. Refreshing is a really good word for that.
Yeah, refreshing. It's totally refreshing.
All right, so another comment from the chat, it's from Hazard. Is there a sort of battle pass in game or coming?
So the battle pass is something, again, that we think it may be a potential. You know, like I was mentioning, there's, you know, right now we're kind of in that phase one. And we always are listening to feedback. Battle pass is definitely something that comes up here and there. We've discussed it. It's nothing official planning. It's literally was like a, hey, what do you think about this kind of thing? It wasn't that, and you know, that was it. It wasn't like anything. Right now we have we just released actually today, which is totally wasn't planned to do this interview day over the update release, but it works out. No, I'm not even being sarcastic. I'm like, oh, that works out. But anyways, the item shop was just released, so I think that if anything, that's a step towards a season pass. But there's absolutely nothing officially planned, and there's no kind of discussion officially going on with that on our side. But we're always open to the idea. We're just kind of taking it step by step, and I think that the items shop that we released today in the update is definitely something that is a nice step to see how you guys feel, and then we'll take it from there. So,
all right,
nothing yet.
Nothing yet. All right. Okay. Well, you heard it here first, chat. So we have another fun question from the chat.
Sure.
Sensei sorry, I should say his full name. 1218 wants to know. Ask him if it's common for players to kill themselves through the gate that they create, like Rayapollo does.
Not to the level of Ray.
Wow.
But, it does happen. It happens quite a bit. I mean, I accidentally die by my own hand probably every game. not every game. But like I said,
it's okay. You can't backpedal now. You're in good company here. Don't worry.
It's not to the degree of Rayapollo. But no, but it is a super common thing to see, especially people that are just kind of like easing into the game. If you're not familiar with the portals or the map or anything, it's super easy to accidentally slip. So
yeah, accidentally. That's exactly
it. Accidentally slip through a
yep.
a portal.
I can feel that.
No, that's totally a common thing. There's actually this is something that's not as common. Is you can actually kill people with portals.
Wait, what?
Yeah, not necessarily like shooting your portal at them, but no, yeah. I mean, that's definitely something that's unique. The portal aspect adds so many different play types and play styles, and there's so many thousands of things you can do at every corner of the map because of the portal. And one of those things is if you put a portal underneath an enemy and you have the other one on the underside of a map, they will fall through and they will die. And there's even like there's a little icon for it, but I haven't seen it yet actually in game. But it's a thing. Yeah,
now I have a goal now to make sure this happens.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna make that happen on stream. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it's super satisfying.
I bet it is. So I did see a question from I think Game Over asked it. Creator codes. Do you guys think about having creator codes for your store?
Yeah, that's actually something that came with this patch note today.
Oh, that came out today.
That's definitely a thing. You can always apply. Just go to our Discord, and there's a little tab that says how to apply, and you just do it that way. And we're definitely we understand that with an item shop or with a season pass or with a whatever, we want to kind of say, hey, we realize that you play this game constantly, and if we can kind of help you out, then let us help you out. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. Creator codes are a thing, and they are I mean, there's a handful of people that already have their own, yeah, so
Hey,
definitely a thing.
that's all good. I appreciate you
Yeah,
answering that question. So what I'm looking at now, I had one more from Discord that I want to
yeah,
pull up real quick.
absolutely.
From our good friend Bison.
Bison.
So I can guarantee you that it's not the best question in the world. I love you, Bison. But still, Bison wants to know, is there a chance, and this is a good question, is there a
Okay.
chance for in the future for Splitgate to come to consoles first, and then is there a chance for crossplay?
So when he said come to console first,
So he wants to know if it's coming to consoles, and then is there a
gotcha.
chance for crossplay? Sorry.
Gotcha. No, it's totally fine. No, like yeah, absolutely. It's a possibility. It's something again. I keep saying it. I'm sorry, but it's something no official planning yet. But
Gotcha.
it's something that we definitely realize is a want, is a need for a lot of people. I mean, look, man, we're all gamers, and I mean at 1047, and we totally realize that unfortunately not all of your buddies have an Xbox, not all your buddies have a PC, or not all of your whatever you're playing. We understand that not everybody has that thing. So I think that when the time does come up for us to actually sit down and discuss what's the future for us on console, I think that in that same discussion, in that same breath, crossplay will be brought up and say, hey, is this a potential thing? And I definitely think it's a potential future thing for sure, but nothing official. But we definitely realize that unfortunately we just live right now in a gaming world where there's 6,000 consoles, and unfortunately not all your buddies have the same one. So we want to make sure that everybody can play together when that time comes. So that's definitely an open door that we'll definitely approach whenever that time comes.
The future is still the future, so it leaves a lot of room for things to happen. So I saw a really good question in chat from FXH Mantis. Is there any possibility of a map builder mode for end users to make their own custom maps / arenas?
Yeah, that's something else that's really got on our map to our radar of something that's wanted. And you know what? The more that I play the game, the more that I want that feature. It's nothing I don't think that's coming within a near future, but I do believe that it's definitely a possibility for sure, because that opens up a million possibilities. And I also think that that's super important for casual players, because one thing that Splitgate has is somebody that is a casual FPS player usually gets very gets very disheartened when they get into a lobby and get anything going. I mean, I feel like we've all been there, but there's some players that just can't do it. So I think that adding something like a map builder would be an incredible feature, because it'll kind of say, hey, we acknowledge that you're not the best at actual shooting, so let's have some fun over in a custom game map builder.
Right.
So I think that's a super great idea. We hear that often too. I definitely would say that that's probably going to be coming, but same thing, just probably not phase one. Phase one is really focusing on the game itself, but it's definitely a possibility on that one, because all of us want to do it, is the thing. all the devs and all the players are like, let's make a map. But I definitely think that that's something that will come before a potential console release. I think that would be, if the time comes, I think that a forge mode, or whatever you want to call it, would be added, so that everybody kind of realizes, they can do that on all consoles. But nothing yet. But man, I constantly, I've been thinking about that a lot these days. Like, how can I, because back in like Halo 3 days, custom games were really a treat, because these people were making ridiculous maps, and I found myself towards the later part of that game's life, I found myself playing custom games way more than matchmaking.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of that comes from the creativity that map building forge mode allowed people to have. So
yeah, and that kind of leads me to, so I have 3 questions left, and this is one of the 3. That leads me to one of my questions about the custom modes, because big fan of customs in Halo. We played so mini custom games. I
Sure.
love that, you can, adjust the speed of the match. You can adjust, you added a big head mode. I haven't seen big head mode since Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and oh my God, I was so excited.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Any plans to add any more to customize the game modes anymore? To that setting?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the custom game mode is something that we haven't necessarily been able to really, really, really focus on because we're focusing on the main matchmaking, the actual ranked social playlist. But we're definitely getting there because people play customs all the time, and just like what you just said, customs is so much fun.
They are.
Custom lobbies are the type of thing where it's like I'll play a couple games and then 5 hours later,
exactly,
just
one more,
playing
one more, man.
And all of a sudden you have 3 new best friends. It happens all the time, and it's great. But no, I definitely feel like the custom game mode settings are very kind of stripped down, kind of very basic, and they're 100% will be upgrades to that and make it a lot more personalizable than what we have now. And also, I'm sure this might be a question. The being able to save the game modes would be one of those things as well, because I know that it's a hassle, and we all know that it does right now kind of suck just having to go in and change the settings every single time. So custom game modes is something that we're going to kind of work on potentially next, kind of really polish that. Most likely, nothing yet, but nothing yet in the note. But right now, it's something that we have well on our mind. So
good. I'm glad to hear that. So this one's more of a selfish question. I'm gonna be real selfish here. So do you guys have any lore about the universe that you guys have kind of created? Because I mean, you see just. There are little tidbits in each part. Like there's this huge city, this huge futuristic city in the background. From the lobby, you can see this arena in the background. Like any plans to kind of put out any lore, or is that just kind of too nerdy?
Wow, Ray, that's a really selfish question. No. No, there definitely is bits and pieces of little things here and there, and it does make people go, "Why? What does that mean?" Right now, we are only a multiplayer game. We have zero plans to ever make this storyline single player type of game.
Completely understood.
Right, because we don't really think it would translate well. We think that this game is 100% perfect for what it is, right now, just a matchmaking, get in, get out type of arena shooter. Now you're totally right. There are little bits and pieces here and there that are a little like, what, why? And yeah. We I know that a while ago we discussed kind of getting a type of like maybe like a little intro video to kind of be like, this is the world and this is who you are, but nothing outside of just a simple like reference. I don't believe we're gonna do too much. No, unfortunately, Ray, no book series is coming.
Oh dang!
Anytime soon. But no, I appreciate you noticing that the art team is so top notch.
They are. I love looking at like these maps are gorgeous. Like I was walking around sometimes like there's some really cool stuff around here.
They're fantastic. The other night, actually, I was actually doing some. I was in replay mode, and I was kind of flying around trying to get some screenshots of something, and I kind of noticed some like little tiny details that I've never you never noticed playing because you're too busy staying alive and shooting and killing. But there's a lot that these guys have added to this map that are just really, some of the maps are gorgeous. I mean, they really are.
They are. We're looking at Olympus right now on stream. It's kind of the playlist, and Olympus is ridiculous. In the best way.
Yeah, that's a good one. People like that one. No, we definitely are going to potentially, say, hey, this is who you are, this is where you are, this is what you are, but it's going to be nothing more than a reference at this point, we believe.
Gotcha. All right, well, I had one more question to add it before I asked the last question, so just technically 2 more now. So this is second to last. So this is from Danielle J96 in chat. Would you ever look into having a game mode solely based on using the portals? No gunfire, just capture the zone sort of thing, maybe? That way people can just get used to the portals.
Oh yeah. That's a good question, Daniel. Thank you. I think that would be extremely challenging. I get the concept behind it, but I don't think. I mean, just thinking about that, it would be very challenging. Now, I do know that is always a potential for, that's something that you can do in custom games. That's one of those things.
Exactly.
You could do a million things, and with us tweaking it in the next handful of months or whatever, it's gonna change that quite a bit too. Hopefully, but no, I that's a really good question, but I think that right now it's a no. But that is definitely something that's a total potential for custom games. So,
right.
Which could add, it could add a ton of fun to a whole new aspect, and which is custom games is great for that too. I mean, just a little bit of tweaking, it's a whole different game.
Right. Exactly. Oh, so just, in the interest of time, I want to keep this to this last question for real before I have you plug everything about the game and yourself.
Absolutely.
And this is another one of those questions where, the chat is making fun of me, of course. They want to know, and this is from Bison one more time, can falling to your death be called a Rayapollo?
I love it.
I don't.
I love it. I love it. That's yeah. That's that'll be pushed out later today.
Please
Don't. No. Actually, you know what? Let's make it live, boys. Make it live now. All right, boys. Go to Steam and go ahead and update game and.
Oh yeah, you pulled a Rayapollo. Yep, it just fell off the map. Great, that's awesome.
Oh my god, did you see that guy Rayapollo to his death?
Oh no, please don't. Oh god, that's the last thing I need. Let me tell you.
They're uploading it. I'm looking at it. They're uploading it.
We're doing it live. Jeez Louise. Well, CJ, thank you so much. I want to make sure we respect your time. So thank you so much for taking some time to come and talk with us about Splitgate. I feel like we got a lot of information about Splitgate. I learned more about Splitgate than I really had previously planned on. This is amazing. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This was awesome. I know that the chat is really excited that you were here. But honestly, this was an amazing opportunity, and the fact that you were willing to say, "Hey, this random streamer on the internet, let's go talk to him about our game." So thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. I'm a really big fan of the channel. I did find you because of Splitgate. I got to be honest, but
I mean, hey, that's good.
It's part of the job, but sometimes I actually find people that are like, hey, I would actually follow this guy if it had nothing to do with, something that I have my hands in. So I really enjoy the stream, and I couldn't have been happier to do it with you guys today.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you so much. So before we wrap up here, so tell people where they can find you on the internet and tell them where they can find more about Splitgate.
Yeah. So you can find me. My usernames kind of vary, but Stain on Mars, exactly how it sounds, one word, is Stain on Mars is my Twitter. And that's pretty much my only main social media. And then outside of Twitter, you got Discord, but it's super boring on that aspect. But Splitgate can be found absolutely everywhere. Right now, free to play 100% on Steam. Please join our Discord. There's a ton of discussion going on over there. Always, ton going on over there actually. And also Splitgate Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, you name it, we got it. You want a TikTok? We'll make one of those. I mean, we got a
TikTok. Okay, now I'm gonna be like, if there's not a TikTok, I'm gonna be real disappointed.
Yeah, TikToker riot. But no. Yeah, just literally, we're very fortunate to have a name that's kind of unique, and we were able to snag up the Splitgate everywhere. So just type in Splitgate on any of your favorite social media, and you'll be able to find us. So.
All right, I think that's amazing. Well, once again, CJ, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you to you and everyone who works on Splitgate. You guys have made a really fun game that I just really enjoy. And I think I think the people who I've been playing this game with and the people who watch the game are enjoying it. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ray. Seriously, thank you, man.
Of course. And by the way, you're welcome back on stream anytime. So, I mean, if you want to come and, show these noobs how it's done and, play the game with us on stream, let's set it up.
All right, let's set it up, man. I'll do it with the Rayapollo release.
Yes. Great. So excited. So excited about that one.
Thank you so much, Ray. It's been a pleasure, my friend.
All right. Well, until the next time, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
All right. Talk with you later.